Our legs can push back, jump to a box with momentum, jump from a box but land on the same leg, jump from a box and land on the opposite leg, jump from two legs, jump with two legs with momentum, drop and stick from a box, jump from a split stance and land on the same leg, jump from a split stance and land on the opposite leg. One leg onto two legs on a box, one leg onto two legs on a box with momentum, one leg onto two legs on the ground, and one leg onto two legs on the ground with momentum. They can also jump and land with rotation. They also help you skip for distance. Our legs can also jump to a box with weight, with momentum. You can also jump from a box and jump again with two legs. You can also jump from a box and jump again with one leg. You can also ditch the box, jump from two legs, and jump again from one leg. Finally, you can run in reverse, then turn and run forward. And finally, you can bound from leg to leg. This is the ATG Science Plyo Lab. 20 plus plyometric progressions as inspired from a clinical commentary for a return to sport plyometric progression for ACL reconstructions. The principles here apply to any return to sport for any knee injury. I've put my own spin on these based on my background as a physical therapist, combined with my background as an ATG coach. If I ever was unfortunate enough to succumb to any sort of lower extremity injury, this is the exact plyometric routine I'd utilize to get myself back. A low level of on-the-sport function after injury can be difficult to overcome without a sensible route to reintroduce forces and improve ability. Ability just means having the skill to perform something. In this case, it's fast and powerful movements of the legs. If the legs have trouble moving through any of these movements, then good luck operating in sport in that specific movement without pain or without low level of quality. Conversely, although not a guarantee because pain science can get quite complex, but for the most part, if you do have the skill to perform all of these motions, then pain will have a hard time reappearing in your lower extremity, and your function will have a hard time remaining low. We need the capacity of our legs in all of these motions to exceed the demand of our life or sport stressors that are placed onto them. Let's see how you measure up. There are 5 exercises in phase 1. Lunge, push back, static jump to a box, counter movement jump to a box, step up jump on the same leg, and step up jump with an alternating leg. For lunge, push back, this one is very simple. It's exactly how it sounds. Get into a lunge position, and from this position, push back with your front leg and move to the top. Feel free to get as deep as you want to expose your knee and get it strong in these deeper positions. Simply make it easier by doing it with assistance and front foot elevation. For static jump to a box, it's literally how it sounds. Hands on the hips, bend down and jump up to a box with a height of your choosing. Make it harder by raising the height of the box. Make it easier by lowering the height of the box. But anyone can start on this exercise. Identical progression for counter movement jump onto a box. Higher is harder, lower is easier. For step up jump in a box, be modest in the height that you pick to start. Start with one leg, squat down on both, and jump up. Make it harder by lowering the box. Make it easier by raising the height of the box. Same progression for the alternating version. Just swap legs on every jump. Higher is easier, lower is harder. Phase 2 will be 5 exercises. Jumping from a static jump in the air on 2 legs, jumping from a counter movement jump on the air in 2 legs, dropping and sticking a jump from a box, doing a split jump from the ground on the same leg, and a split jump from the ground alternating legs. For bilateral static jump, hands on the hips. You can use momentum with your legs, but not your arms. Bend down, jump up, and land. For bilateral counter movement jump with 2 legs, hands off the hips, bend with your knees, and swing with your arms, and jump as high as you can, and stick the landing. For drop jump, simply drop and stick the landing. Make it harder with more height. Make it easier with less height. For split jump in the air, get in a lunge position and extend all the way to the top and land on the same leg. For alternating, simply do the same thing, but switch from leg to leg. Phase 3 is unilateral static jump or a counter movement jump to a box, unilateral static jump or counter movement jump to a bilateral landing, rotational jump and land, and finally skipping for distance. For exercise number 1, you're gonna pick either a static jump or a counter movement jump. Do not do both. I'll demonstrate both, but only do one of these. Jumping from one leg, hands on the hips onto the box. Jumping on one leg, hands away from the hips onto the box. Pick one of those variations. Exercise number 2 is unilateral static jump or counter movement jump, both legs on the box. Same thing, hands on the hips for static, hands off the hips for counter movement. Pick one of those variations. For rotational jump, do this from the ground. Simply jump and rotate as far as you want in a circle and land. You can go here, or here, or here, or here. For skipping for distance, simply find a hallway with enough room. Skipping is literally jumping on the same leg twice, onto the same leg twice, same leg twice. Find a speed and a range that's tolerable for you. Increase it for distance as you find able. Farther and farther until you can go max speed without pain. Phase 4 is a static jump or counter movement jump onto a box weighted, a bilateral or unilateral depth jump, a 2 up, 1 down jump, a retro run into turn and burn, and bounding for distance. Again, static jump or counter movement jump, pick one, don't do both. Pick up some dumbbells. Static jump is only bend slightly with the knees before coming up. Counter movement jump is full swing with your body and knees before coming up. Pick one of those. Make it easier with less height or less weight. For bilateral or unilateral depth drop, pick one, don't do both. Raise the bench up, at least to a height that you can jump up to. You're gonna jump from the box and then jump again out of that landing. Do it with 2 legs or with 1 leg. Do one or the other. Make it harder by going higher. Make it easier by going lower. For 2 up, 1 down, it's very similar to the depth drop, but just without a box. Jump from 2, jump out of 1. Make it easier by just jumping less high. Make it harder by going max intensity. 2 up, 1 down. For retro run into turn and burn, make sure you have enough space to complete the turn. For me, I'm going to run backwards until I hit about the end of this torque tank. Find a predetermined distance for you when you perform these. Run backwards, find the distance, turn, and open up and run. Make sure you repeat for both sides. Bounding, unlike skipping, is jumping from one leg to the other, but even this scales. You can simply do tiny steps, as tolerated, without pain. To make it harder, flex up higher and jump farther. Doing this for distance from the ball of the foot is your goal. On the ATG Science Plyo Lab, you will run through this 1 day per week on Saturdays through the ATG online training app, an asynchronous training platform costing less than $2 a day, where you get me as your personal form coach for everything. This is also how I run my group training Plyo Lab classes in person and virtually through the Youngstown Knee Lab. $20 group training classes of max 5 people that I hold in Boardman, Ohio, or through Zoom. Links for all of these resources can be found in the description. I hope it helps. Here's your greater pursuit of truth.